Hi everyone, and welcome to a review of the North Face Ultra Guide running shoes. I think when it comes to buying a new pair of running shoes, the North Face aren't most people's first choice. But when I was looking for a new pair of shoes, I quite liked the look of these. I tried them on and they felt good, so I thought I'd give them a go and see how they did. Starting with the outsole, you've got North Face's own, which they call Ultra Tack. I think they've recently changed the name for the new model, but it's essentially the same thing. And you've essentially got several well-spaced chevron style lugs. It's a well-used design used by various manufacturers in various forms. These are maybe about 2 to 3 millimeters deep, which I thought would suit me fine for not the really wet stuff and not really hard packed stuff, but somewhere in the middle. Traditional design, one's at the front pointing forwards, one's at the back pointing backwards, so you get the best grip going uphill and downhill depending on where the pressure is on your foot. In practice, however, I found it to be slightly lacking. I don't find it grips very well in anything remotely wet or muddy. It is fine on harder trails, and I've had no problems with gravel or anything, but I have had problems with durability. I've currently got about 67 miles on this shoe, and already some of the lugs, this one, don't know whether you can see, but it's almost pretty much just ripped off, either from wear or it's just, I don't know, fallen off. And on this shoe, there's several where half of that one has fallen off. You can see it's unequal, and same with that one at the back. And that's, not ideal after such a short amount of time. And it is just on the heel, these chevrons around the edges. The ones on the front are looking fine. They are slightly worn down, but not as bad as the heels. But anyway, so the sole, kind of disappointing. Not enough grip for wet ground, not durable enough for hard ground, so it kind of sits somewhere in the middle and doesn't really excel at anything, unfortunately. I think some of the problems with grip come down to this area in the heel. We've got what they call a shock pad, which is a really soft gel pad. Provides, obviously great cushioning, nice and soft, but it's a big bare patch where you've got literally no grip whatsoever. I think on some terrains this will grip well and be durable enough. I'm thinking maybe sort of well drained sandy soils. So moving on to the midsole, you have an 8mm drop, 16mm stack height at the heel and 8mm at the forefoot. It's quite a nice soft midsole, so you get plenty of cushioning, a nice comfortable ride, especially over longer distances. I've put up to a 34-mile run on this shoe, and feet felt pretty good afterward, so I really can't complain on that front. In terms of rock protection, you have what North Face call a snake plate. So rather than have just a big sheet of a rock guard, they have sort of a zigzagging pattern across the forefoot of stiffer, more protective material, which they say allows the, being zigzags rather than solid, allows the shoe to flex better. And it is pretty flexible, and I've had no issues with feeling rocks through, so that pretty much stands up. It is quite flexible throughout, as you can see. So if you like a nice flexible shoe but still want cushioning and protection, this is pretty good. Moving on to the upper, you've got a reinforced toe bumper of quite nice tough feeling material. The mesh is pretty open, so they breathe quite well, and it still feels fairly tough, although on the flex point it is just starting to fuzz up a little bit. Again, I've not used these that much, so I would have liked to see it be a bit more durable, but unfortunately it's just showing some signs of wear there. And then you've got sort of moulded overlays on the outside, more protection around the inside and outside. The inner of the shoe feels very nice. There's nice soft materials used throughout, nice amount of padding around the cuff, not too much, just enough that you get a bit of comfort, but you still get a nice close fit around the heel, and all around a very comfortable shoe to wear. The Insole is nicely padded, small amount of shape to it, but really just a basic insole. To help prevent dirt and sand getting into the shoe, you have a stretchy panel which runs over the tongue there, down from the front to the top, and that is a really close fit in stretchy panel. Just helps stop mud and dirt and sand and gravel getting into the shoe. As far as lacing goes, you've got 6 lace loops with an optional or extra one at the top to customize the fit. The lacing, unfortunately, is another place where I've had problems with this shoe. I normally have to retighten the laces a couple of times during long runs, and when I tighten them fully to get a good fit that I like, I find I get pressure just at the very top here over my forefoot. And also these lace loops, they're quite close together and they're not very free flowing, so it takes a bit of time to really get the perfect fit if you want. As far as the whole fit of the shoe goes though, it's pretty good. It's quite wide in the forefoot. It's a very comfy shoe to wear, especially over longer distances. Another very slight issue is the logos have peeled off pretty quick. I think that one went after the first run, and also on this one on the tongue they started peeling off. Small thing. So I think that just about sums up this shoe. If you've got any questions about it, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. Obviously I've had my ups and downs with the shoe. Certain parts of it I like, unfortunately certain bits I don't like, but I mean, don't let that put you off. If you're looking for a shoe and you think this might, the outsole certainly will suit the sort of terrain you run on, and if you're looking for something comfortable that you can run long miles in and the fit suits you, then I would recommend it for that. Unfortunately it hasn't worked out for me, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.